everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grand Bahama's Best Talk Show, Focus Forward, sponsored by the Invest Grand Bahama unit of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. My name is Glendia Sweeting, Manager of Quality Assurance and Special Projects at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and I am joined by my co-host. Why are you looking at me like that?
I listened to hear my name.
Alex Thompson, Director of Public Relations at the Downtown Freeport Business Association. Alex, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, but I want you to understand that it's more than just public relations of downtown.
So what else is there?
It's public relations of the whole island. I'm always talking about Grand Bahama.
The entire, you know what? I can give her kudos for that. She is always talking about the entire island of Grand Bahama and promoting Grand Bahama in such a special way, no matter where she is around the world. So we're happy that you're with us today. And we definitely want to get into our conversations because we have to give some really, really big kudos to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce and certainly the director that's joining us today who would have helped to put or pretty much organized along with a fantastic team to put together the Grand Bahama Economic Summit 2026, happening for the first time here in Freeport. And of course, you know, if you didn't have an opportunity to attend this event, we are going to give you first dibs on everything that is happening here and all of the wonderful speakers that we're going to be talking to. And of course, we have business leaders and policymakers in the room, community stakeholders, and, you know, persons that help to transform economic growth on the island. And so this particular show is something that's very, very important to the island of Grand Bahama. So I certainly want to say thank you, a very special thank you to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce and the director, Mr. Felix Bow, who would have been working along with his team to make this happen. So this is a great, great event. And of course, lots of people are in the room.
Okay, so it is crowded in the room, y'all.
Yes.
And there's some heavy hitters in the room.
Yes.
We haven't gotten them to the round table yet, but you know, we have some persons like, let me give you all a little sneak peek of what's happening here.
Who's going to be there?
We have from the Securities of Financial Regulations, we have the Honorable Justice K. Neville Adderley, who is the chairman of the Securities Commission of the Bahamas in the room.
Out of Nassau.
Okay, then. We also have Edison L. Sumner, of a commercial diplomat, principal of Sumner Strategic Partners, and he's going to be talking in reference to the small and medium enterprises and strategic planning sector. There's more people in the room. If you're not in the room, where are you? I don't know what's happening.
You need to be present.
You need to be present. And talking from the healthcare sector, we have Mr. Dennis DeVoe, Chief Executive Officer of Doctors Hospital Health Systems, who is moving by leaps and bounds here in Freeport. And we also have Mr. Rodney Bain, Manager at Communications and Business Intelligence and Consumer Awareness Unit of the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, who just opened up an office here in Grand Bahama last year because they realized they need to be in Grand Bahama with everybody else.
Everyone is in Grand Bahama.
They need to be in Grand Bahama.
Everybody needs to be in Grand Bahama.
We're decentralizing Nassau. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I did it right here. You heard it first.
Okay, well, we have so much more and so many other people that we will be welcoming to the table today. Some of them that Alex would have mentioned and obviously some others. But right now, we are joined to, we really want to get in the conversations with the guests that we currently have because we want to talk with the people that are shaping the future of our island. And so certainly we definitely want to welcome for the very first time to our round table, Mr. Felix Bow Jr., the Director of Economic Development from the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, and he's the leader and organizer for this fantastic event today. Mr. Bow, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here on Forward Focus. This is my first time, so I'm really excited to be here, and I want to congratulate you guys as an avid viewer on your success so far with the show.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And we also want to welcome, I know you want to get the conversation started, so I'll welcome the guest today.
She's so excited right away.
She's so excited, but we will get there. We want to welcome, coming straight out of New Providence, Ms. Shirley Gale, the country representative to the Bahamas for the International Development Bank. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Gale.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning. I represent the Inter-American Development Bank. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you and my honor to be participating in this economic forum.
Thank you so much.
Gale's title have the word bank in it.
Yes.
It sounds like money. I think I can ask her for money. I'm just
I
checking.
think we need to ask questions appropriately on the show today.
Appropriately, hey.
So we will move into the
okay.
conversations and see what opportunities there may be. But Mr. Bowe, if we can come over to you. I know Alex has a question that she wants to throw to the table, but I just want to start
I was taking notes earlier.
A little bit of context, right? At the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, you guys have a vision and a mission to be able to support the small and medium enterprises and large enterprises here on the island. Tell us a little bit about what the chamber would normally do during the course of the given year.
Well, the Chamber is divided into various subsections. Of course, our membership, which is key to any organization, because without membership, no organization can drive. So our membership division is led by Nicole Colebrook. She's the director for that area. Of course, we have our Small Business Development Committee, which is headed by Terrence Roberts II. We also have our Public Relations Unit, which is headed by Brandon Hall and Jana Campbell. And we also have our Director of Fundraising, who's Donna Lang Jones, whom you will hear from later. And of course, our President. We also have our Finance and Budget Committee, which is headed by Ralph Hepburn and Karina Ferguson. And then we also have our Community section, which is headed by Jacolia Brennan, who's also another director. So the Chamber has been extremely busy. I have joined this Chamber over a year or so ago, but I was brought into this position last year, August, 6 months ago, to fill an interim position as the Director of Economic Development. And for me, approaching this opportunity was basically strategic in terms of planning, where I wanted to focus from my portfolio and what I felt was important for Grand Bahama to be focused on from a business perspective. So as you know, the Chamber is the business voice that represents the sector, and I felt like this summit today, this was critical. We're in a very positive stance in Grand Bahama. We're in a very pleasant trajectory right now with new opportunities, new investments. Of course, with that comes some streamlining and some discussions in terms of various policies. Well, today, I brought those stakeholders together to discuss, to plan, and chart the way forward.
All of that Felix was talking about, I'm already excited.
Okay,
I feel like I need to get off the table and get in the room.
Yeah.
After the show.
I can't even lie to you. Like, am I missing part of the conversation that's happening? So we were able to pull him out of the room, and so we could get him on the table to talk about the things that we want to share now from the small business perspective, small and medium-sized business. You know, Felix, I want to know, what is the Chamber doing to support enterprises to help them to become more competitive and investment ready for what's happening in Grand Bahama and what we see over the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, as you know, we are winding down on our Chamber calendar right now. This is actually the last month in this fiscal year. Earlier part of this year, we would have had our Small Business Development Forum, which is headed by Terrence Roberts Jr., and in partnership with our Director of Customer Membership Services, Nicole Colebrook, where they would have had a forum presenting opportunities to various members, small business owners, about getting their businesses ready, compliant with inland revenue, strategic development talks, and in partnership with the SPDC, and just overall proper planning for stronger and more just prudent economy. You know, without these small businesses, we can't help to continue to drive the economy of Grand Bahama, and these are our key people, the licensees of Grand Bahama. So our work continues, and we want to also take this time to invite small business owners to be a part of the Chamber. If you're not a part of the Chamber, please come. We're right across the street from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Downtown. So we want to encourage you to be a part of this. Grand Bahama can only continue to grow and be stronger along with everybody's input and their participation. We all have a role to play. So small business is just as important as a member or anybody and being a part of the Chamber.
Okay. Now, I just want to, Mr. Bowe, before we move over to Ms. Gale really quickly, I wanted to just kind of just allow you to expand a little bit. So the Chamber is doing a lot of work with the small businesses and supporting them. I want to talk a little bit about the industries and sectors that we see right now that are showing the strongest potential. Tell us about how the Chamber is helping to push business in some of those sectors and what some of those sectors might be. I know technology is one of those things we've been talking about for a while, but how is the Chamber helping to push and encourage persons in those kinds of sectors that are showing potential?
Well, that's an excellent question. Our Director of Fundraising, Donna Lang Jones, she would have held an AI forum last year with Ty Wells from Global Securities, and he would have held an open forum to the public, which was oversubscribed with 147 persons, and they came in and got first-hand information information about artificial intelligence and how AI is moving forward. So with a stronger and more well-versed and educated economy, Grandmama can only be better. So that's where we position ourselves by assisting our small businesses from the ground up, providing certain forums such as that, free of course, encouraging them to be involved, also providing platforms online, as you would have, Ms. Gale would have spoken earlier downstairs in a contribution about tapping into SPDC and taking advantage of those opportunities. Every program that SPDC rolls out, the Chamber shares it on its page, and we email it to our members and encourage them to get involved. Earlier, the last part of last year, Alex would have hosted a Level Up seminar with the SPDC, which I brought remarks on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, where SPDC brought together major businesses to the community of Grand Bahama, encouraging them to get these services provided, come and speak with these persons, get guidance, get just plans on how they can further strengthen and develop their business. So we're not just only a voice for the business community, we're an advocate to ensure that things are getting done, and we're positioning Grand Bahama in the right trajectory as the opportunities continue to grow.
We certainly appreciate that. Ms. Gale, just as Mr. Boa just mentioned, you gave a contribution in the seminar that's happening right now. Tell us a little bit about what your presentation was about.
Thank you. Well, I was asked to speak on just how the IDB's work is directly impacting Grand Bahama in terms of Grand Bahama's economic development and diversification efforts. So in the presentation, I tried to focus on the initiatives that the IDB is spearheading, whether in partnership with the government or with private sector interests that come back to benefit Grand Bahama in particular, and then other initiatives too that are nationwide across the Bahamas that will also impact Grand Bahama.
Okay, if I may ask you, I know you're talking about what's happening here in Grand Bahama, but what opportunities exist for public and private partnerships to leverage development funding more effectively?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because that is something that we as an institution have been actively trying to promote. We recognize, and this is not just a condition in the Bahamas, just generally, we recognize that governments are constrained, the budgets are limited, the fiscal space is very narrow as governments try to manage their debt burden. So we're trying to push, if I may use that word, the private sector to come into the development space, to bring their funding and to attract funding from institutions like ours and others to come into projects that go to the development of the country. So to answer the question more directly, there are many opportunities here in Grand Bahama. I mean, we've heard just this morning of the immense potential that exists here. The Port Authority outlined last year plans ahead for billions in investment in Grand Bahama. And so the opportunities are there, and we would like the private sector to see itself as an engine of investment in the development of Grand Bahama, whether in partnership with the public sector, which is something that the IDB can help to forge, or independently, right? Purely private sector projects, we support those as well.
So similar to the SPDC, which you had mentioned just a little bit earlier in your response, does IDB have priority areas where they would say these are certain initiatives that we are looking to fund for businesses on Grand Bahama moving forward, because we recognize that there could be a direct impact to the economy? Mm-hmm. Do you have any initiatives like that may be currently to the table?
We do, and in terms of, let me put it this way, we listen to our clients, okay, right? So the government is a client, the private sector interests here in the Bahamas are clients or potential clients. So we try not to come with our predetermined or preconceived ideas as to what the Grand Bahama needs or what the country needs. And this is why I'm here, because I want to hear from all the business leaders, mm-hmm, take the opportunity to learn from you. So that informs what we offer. in the first place. But yes, for example, I spoke in my presentation earlier about the condition of limited or challenges in accessing financing for smaller enterprises, small and medium enterprises. And our response to that as a development bank was to partner with the government to establish this $25 million credit guarantee facility. Now that is being administered through the SBDC and directly impacts Grand Bahama. In fact, in my presentation, I mentioned that there were 16 businesses in Grand Bahama that had access loans with that credit facility that we provide. So how it works is that the SBDC provides supporting advisory services to help the businesses develop their proposals, make them viable, and then they can apply to participating financial institutions that provide the loans, like Fidelity Bank is one. They assess the proposals, I mean, in the same way that they would assess any business proposal, somebody coming for a loan, but the bank has the added security of the guarantee that our financing provides. So if Felix's business is getting a loan of $200,000, right, then we are going to be able to guarantee $150,000 of that, right? We go up to 75%. So that certainly makes it more attractive. So this is a way in which we respond to what we've heard is a need or a challenge in the business environment.
I love that.
So she is the money.
Along with others, right?
Well,
Along with the government.
Along with others.
Along
Yes.
with the SBDC.
But I like it. I
Yes.
like it. Okay,
Yes.
so just to be clear, to fully understand, the IDB is guaranteeing the loans.
Yes.
However, as small business owners or entrepreneurs, we need to connect with the SBDC.
With the SBDC.
And we're able to go through their processes
And
and their
that's how
programs.
you
And that's how we will
access.
access the funding
Yes.
that is available. That seems
Right.
pretty easy to me.
Pretty easy to me as well.
And it's free.
And a fantastic opportunity for the small
SBDC does not
businesses.
charge us for anything.
No. Now we have to go for a wrap up. You know, really appreciate
really?
having you guys on the show. But just to give them just a quick moment before we wrap up, just to say any final words, Mr. Bo.
I just want to firstly say thank you to Forward Focus once again for this opportunity. I want to thank the entire community of Grand Bahama, the business community, all of our presenters today, our keynote speakers, all of our presenters, and of course our partners, our sponsors. Our keynote sponsor would have been the Grand Bahama Power Company Alive, of course Fidelity, of course the Commonwealth Bank, Kelly's, Spartan Builders, CG Atlantic, the Insurance Commission, the Varkasin, the Grand Bahama Port Authority Invest, Grand Bahama. We could not do this without them. I could not do this without them. Of course, the team at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. It has been weeks of me messaging them at 3:30 in the morning and 4:30. They're excited this is done, but I believe that when somebody invests in your product, they require excellence, and that's what I wanted to present here today to Grand Bahama. So thank you once again.
Certainly a pleasure to have you on our show, Mr. Bo. And Ms. Gail, any final thoughts?
Well, I want to congratulate the Chamber. I think you've done an excellent job, Felix, and your team in this first effort. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I want to reiterate what I said in the presentation, right? That the private sector, we want to encourage the private sector to come into the space and to take advantage of the suite of instruments that the IDB has to offer. So please, private sector, come and talk to us.
This is the time to do it, Grand Bahama. Freeport, everybody, SMEs, small and medium enterprises, everybody, please take advantage of what is being offered here today. If you didn't have an opportunity to be here at the Economic Development Seminar, you can always reach out to the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce so that you can get additional information. They can direct you to the persons that can assist you. Listen, we have so much more to come, and we're so grateful for our first segment coming out real strong at the Economic Summit. So we will be right back right after this.
Welcome to Freeport, the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investments. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Grand Bahama's Best Talk Show. Focus Forward. We are having a fantastic day at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Summit. It is a fun day, but we're learning so much. We're learning so much. And we had Felix Bowe on the top segment, director from the chamber, and also Shirley Gale from IDB. So we have been learning about how we can access funds,
The money
how
lady.
small and medium-sized businesses can get some more opportunities. And we learned about the public and private partnerships that they're trying to foster so that small businesses can get assistance. So we are having a great day. Alex is just having a lot of fun, as usual.
I tell you, if I can't have fun, I don't come. But we're here. Listen, this economic summit is so intense. They have so many persons here. I don't even know if I need to go to Outlook, but anyhow. Oh, did I say that on air?
Shall we move on
Clearly.
with our guest for today? Really, really excited. And of course, we want to invite you to come to the Grand Bahama Business Outlook that's going to be happening next week. Of course, lots of information being shared here, but they will have even more. And I understand that the Prime Minister of the Bahamas is going to be there. And so we
we're
want
gonna
to
be
be able
there.
to hear, and we will be there. So we want to be able to hear what the outlook is for Grand Bahama. And so I am so delighted to welcome to the roundtable people that I only see on television.
Is it really?
Yes. Mr. Gawain Bowe, the Group Chief Executive Officer for Fidelity Bank and Trust International Limited. So delighted to have you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
That's the next person with bank
And
in their title.
yes. And we'll get into that conversation
All
as well.
right.
She gets excited about anything that has to do with money. So we will see how it goes. And of course, very delighted for the very first time to welcome to the roundtable Mrs. Lakeisha Anderson Roll, the Executive Director for the Bahamas National Trust. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And you're right, this
This
my
is your first time?
Yes.
Let's not repeat
I
that.
tell you,
Did you
we
have to
only see
leave
on TV.
Freeport to come back to the roundtable?
But not the last.
But I'm here.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
here, and this won't be my last.
Better not be.
There we go. There we go. So let's get into our discussion because, of course, there's so much that we want to be able to cover during the course of this segment. And if we can begin with you, Mr. Bowe, how would you characterize the current lending and investment environment here in Grand Bahama? It's a big deal, particularly for small businesses.
Well, firstly, it's only Gowan. I told him I'm not old enough to be Mr. Bowe. So
Yes,
let's
Darwin.
do that.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
You know, I think we have to speak honestly, although we can be optimistic. Grand Bahama's lending environment is challenged because of the employment situation and the, if you will, the need for there to be stimulus in the tourism sector, because it was a big portion that coming out of the pandemic and even before that with Dorian and even before that with previous hurricanes, etc., having a significant downturn relative to that. The airport, as we know, is a key factor in that needs to be redeveloped to enable airlift so that you have the tourist product. But I think you're seeing some rebound as it relates to Carnival in terms of what's happening there, and certainly the activity that's taking place in their development. We hear the announcements about things that MSC may be contemplating. Right. So I think there's optimism. With that being said, Grand Bahama has been what I'm going to say a staple in our financial institution. And by that I mean the resilience and, funnily enough, what I'm going to call the actual discipline of persons. That notwithstanding some of the challenges on the economic front, you do see ingenuity, you do see entrepreneurship, and what I'm going to say, that spirit of resilience that says, Grand Bahama, persons may not believe, on the digital front, when we're moving to say, why carry cash so often? Why not get on the forefront of using your card? We do it everywhere in Europe, the US. Now we do so, why not in Bahama? Grand Bahama was actually our leading branch as it relates to getting merchants and people signed up to do digital transactions, etc., for the past few years. And so I think that just shows that the way we do business in Grand Bahama, and I say we because it is a part of me as well, is that we adapt to the environment. And so from that perspective, we would like to see a bit more economic activity come out of some of these developments so that you can see the spin-off not only within the employment there, but as I spoke earlier at the summit, around the ownership side of things, so people have an understanding that their money is working for them as opposed to them just working for their money.
I like that. And I like the fact that you gave the background and the backdrop as to why things may have been so difficult. And from the small business perspective, if I can just jump in, Alex, because I know you want to say something. I just, because you talked about optimism, right? How can we prepare ourselves to move from optimism to a bank like Fidelity is willing to do business, or more business, I should say, with small business owners? Everyone is not at the same level. They're all at different levels. How can they be best supported, and how can they prepare themselves to approach?
Well, the first thing is, I have a brother who says to me, you can't smoke hope, right? Because he say hope don't rise. Now, I ain't too sure, and when he said it brought it home. I won't say the context in which he said it, but
Right.
the reality is, I think a lot of business persons approach financing with hope as opposed to facts, figures, and estimates and assumptions. So how do we move from what is an idea in your head to actually something that is crystallized in a manner that an independent party who doesn't share your same, I'm going to say, vision and where you see things going, but they can independently assess. So what do I mean by that? Have an independent analysis on what is the customer base. Because you may think you have a fantastic product, you may think that the price point is okay, but when you start doing research, you're not going to get the people that you want. So I can say we've seen businesses that everyone is going to make $1 million a year, and when I just do the mathematics, I'm saying, well, that means every citizen that is actually located here has to spend X amount, and does everyone want your product, right? We often are very optimistic on what is the cost, because we believe that we can manage costs from day one. But anybody who's been in business knows revenue streams don't always come in from day one, and so you have your overhead, you have your startup costs, etc. So I say all of that to come back to a very basic, that we need to get into appropriate planning. So that's how we change or morph a goal into an actual outcome, that it has to be through a plan, right? Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So a lot of small businesses, is not to be critical, they come in with a wish, that I wish these people give me money, as opposed to what I'm going to say is a plan that says, you know what, I'm not coming asking you for a favor. Because banks, we're in the business of lending money. So the truth is, if you come to me presenting that this is a solid plan, not everything is going to necessarily be perfect, but I can see that most of the things you've put into it have some reasonable basis upon which to make that judgment, then I'm in a situation where I can make an underwriting decision, which in layman's terms simply means I could decide whether you're trustworthy enough for me to lend you money.
All of what I hear you saying is, one, you absolutely love Grand Bahama. Two, you're looking to probably move to Grand Bahama. Three, you recognize all the investments that's happening, and Grand Bahama is moving in this trajectory upward. All of that I hear. But I also hear that Fidelity is interested in helping the small and medium-sized businesses.
Yeah,
I do hear that.
And as an organization, the truth of the matter is, when you look at what businesses make up any economy, the vast majority are small and medium-sized businesses. And let's be very candid. In the Bahamas, most of these are micro and small businesses, because in the global context, medium, we don't even have too many of them, right? So when we look at it, it is saying that, yes, we are seeing where a person may have been with an employee mindset moving to entrepreneur, and so needs a bit of counseling and mentorship. We are actually even moving to where our board is approved, where we have what I'm going to call private equity funding that says, okay, for certain ventures, we won't only be a lender, we may be an investor, which then puts an onus on us to actually be participatory in terms of your governance and your management of business, because some businesses only need that little bit of a leg up. But what I want to be very clear on is, you cannot come to me with no skin in the game. And what I mean by that is, everyone comes, say, I need $500,000 to get this business started. And then you say, well, how much you bring in? Well, I got $5,000. Well, the reality is, are you invested in your own business? Because if it fails, right, $495,000 is not on you.
What if they bring collateral? What if the collateral is about half of what they're asking for?
No, and collateral, I just want to put into its appropriate context. Collateral is in the event of default. So you don't want the negativity with that. But when you bring it, it has to be what is the monetary value. So if you have vacant land that you're saying is worth $10 million, but there's nobody offering you to buy that on a regular basis,
Right.
from my perspective as a lending institution, I don't want something that is thought to be worth $10 million. I
nobody
want
wants it.
something that has cash flow coming. So there are multiple factors. So I wouldn't say that, you know, there's a one size fits all. I equally wouldn't say that it is an immediate no. I think a lot of persons assume the negative side of saying banks are going to tell me no. But look in the mirror and ask yourself, how did you approach the financial institution? Did you come with a business proposal that says, we can't lose, meaning you as the investor, me as the lender, and the business itself that you're going to operate? Or did you come really saying, you know what, I have an idea. I hope you're giving me some money. And you know what? I bring in my enthusiasm,
Right.
but no skin in the game. And to close it and round it out, the reality is, why come as an individual, as opposed to first saying that same $500,000 sentiment, you may only have 5,000, but can you find 20 other persons like-minded or 19 other persons like-minded that have 5,000? Now you have 100,000.
Right.
Now you have an actual business that is not, I am chief and I is the boss because I own it.
Right.
I actually have a business that might have a chance of surviving because I have like-minded individuals that have pooled resources and now come with a presentation that has multiple skins in the game.
Okay, now this is the type of thing that you
Accountability
can't pay for, right? And this is the reason why we're asking these questions, because everyone won't have an opportunity to sit with you. So we thank you so much for sharing
Everyone
some of
does.
this information.
I won't clarify.
Okay, some of us have to
Only-
catch a flight.
Well, now, you know, it's Zoom and WhatsApp
We'll see
video
how it
and
go-
all
you
the
know
ones
what?
there.
So
I
we're
have
gonna
nothing to
get
say.
some contact
If you want to see
information.
me, if you want to see me, the only thing I'll tell you is I have another brother, so I almost sounded like Will Stubbs or you know, everyone with the family. But I have another brother that says, if I owe you, just get in line. I'm not changing my number.
Okay.
So the reality is, you may not, when you first call, get me, because there may be someone in front of you, but I will get back to you.
Well, we appreciate that, and we like
that,
to, we like to be able to be connected to these policymakers and these people that are creating change here in our economy, but certainly being able to help and to be ready and available to do so. Mrs. Anderson Roll, thank you so much again for being with us, and of course, we have to have the conversation with you. I know that you have a presentation that's going to be coming up soon, but can you give us some sneak peeks about some of the things that you're going to be talking about around, you know, our environmental conservation and what's happening here on Grand Bahama Island?
Yes, well, great to be here with you again. And once again, I look forward to visiting you in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially as we prepare for a number of initiatives that the Bahamas National Trust is bringing to Grand Bahama that would be under our national programs. And so I'll be sharing a bit more about the BNT's work related to environmental sustainability and how we are supporting and contributing to the economic development of my home, Grand Bahama. And not even being biased, but Grand Bahama is extremely unique in terms of its natural beauty, and there are some areas that are unspoken of, and the Bahamas will be expanding its protected area network, including areas right here on Grand Bahama. But when we think about environmental sustainability, we're really focusing on protection of our natural assets and the sustainable use of them. And a lot of times, you know, you would see, not a lot of times, but the Bahamas as a tourism product, we are selling sand, sea, and we want to make sure that those areas are protected. Right. In this day and age, we look on social media to help with planning our destinations. Travelers want an authentic outdoor experience, and Grand Bahama is poised for it. I'll be speaking more on what we are bringing for the 3 national parks here on the island. Lucayan National Park in particular, which is known as the welcome mat for Grand Bahama. The beautiful, pristine Gold Rock Beach, which is world-renowned. And we'll also be talking about some of the business opportunities that we'll be rolling out this summer. We're looking at a commercial use program. The organization is in a restructuring phase where we will have a business development unit that would support local businesses through concessions program, through third-party permits, where we are able to support small businesses and local entrepreneurs. And so we're happy to bring that on stream. It is something that the BNT has been speaking about for quite some time, but it's a pillar within our new strategic plan, and it's exciting to see where we are. And we have already been receiving quite a number of interest from Grand Bahama communities in terms of them wanting an opportunity to establish businesses and operate within the national park. So we're excited to bring that.
I'm hearing strategic growth. I'm hearing partnerships, collaboration. I was thinking, I have all these questions that you kind of touched on a lot of them, you know. And one of the things is, I know you talked about partnering, but what opportunities exist for ecotourism and sustainable development to create jobs while protecting our natural resources?
And so when you think about environmental conservation, we're talking about ecotourism opportunities. We protect mangroves. Fish knows no borders. They move out of the mangrove nursery areas onto the reefs. So you're supporting kayaking and snorkeling adventures. We have local businesses who are focusing on bird tourism, and bird tourism is a lucrative business, and Grand Bahama has the birding populations that can support that. Garwin spoke earlier about some of the natural assets in East Grand Bahama and West Grand Bahama. And I just have to share this story every opportunity I get, because there's an area in East Grand Bahama which will soon be a protected area. I am a diver. I've been diving throughout the Bahamas, but I have never experienced anything like Thrift Harbor. It's a drift snorkel. You don't even need to learn how to dive, but you see a wealth of marine life in a creek system. The current just takes you through, so it's a drift snorkel, but it's the most beautiful thing you will ever see. And I want to commend some of my good friends from Sweeting Ski who were able to take us there because they know what they own. They know the natural assets there. And so the business opportunities could be expanding on bird tourism, could be expanding on fly fishing adventures. And we are seeing that in East Grand Bahama and West Grand Bahama. There are already certifications in place for nature-based tourism, and we've partnered with the Ministry of Tourism in previous years, and now BAMSI has actually taken on a certification process that would allow for nature-based tourism products and companies to be established. The SBDC provide grants, and even the Bahamas Protected Areas Fund. They support nonprofit enterprises to be able to work in the nature, to work in nature-based tourism. And so it's a lot on the horizon. Again, you cannot speak of the Bahamas as celebrating and promoting sun, sand, and sea without protecting that very natural asset.
And I want to just jump on that, because when you talk about protecting these natural assets, you know, we live here every day. We don't probably appreciate these things as much as we should. We probably don't experience them as much as we should. What are some of the things that the average Grand Bahamian, people that live here, can do to help the BNT protect these assets?
Now, I like that when you said help the BNT protect those assets.
You do what you do.
So the BNT, we are a membership organization, and so we do have quite a tiered approach to members. We have single, we have family, but we also have corporate memberships. And one of the ways that corporate Bahamas can support the BNT would be by including conservation initiatives in their CSRs, in their corporate social responsibility strategies. They can partner with us for volunteer days, whether it's removing invasives, whether it's cleaning up beaches, whether it's engaging with students. And one of the ways that we have been working towards getting more Bahamians involved would be through our children. We have programs that actually bring students into the parks. We have students and children that are eager to come and visit and actually hold a Bahamian boa, learning about the importance in the ecosystem. Yes, absolutely.
That's not you.
It's the adults that we need to work on.
Yes.
But it's we make it a purpose for us to go into the schools to bring the students into the natural environment for hands-on learning and experiences, and that trickles all the way through the family.
Okay. I must shamefully say that I only experienced snorkeling last year. And my first experience with the snorkeling was, oh, this is why they're paying thousands of dollars to come to the Bahamas, because the saying that says, there's nothing more beautiful than what you see underwater.
Absolutely.
It's so true. And I think if we start with our children, like you said, you don't need to know how to dive.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure they know how to swim.
Yes.
And teach them how to explore their island, and that will then cause their parents to get involved, because kids are going to nag you. My son is 15. He's always nagging me, when can I go diving? When can we go snorkeling on a consistent basis? And also want to invite the Clarion Call, along with Lakeisha, to invite people, join the BNT.
Yes.
The membership is so insignificant,
Yes.
but the impact is grand. And we're so happy that we continue to reach out to persons right here in Grand Bahama. And I mean, it's just awesome. Now, businesses want to connect with you. How do they connect? Do they need to reach out to NASA, or they can connect right locally here in Freeport?
So we do have an office here on Grand Bahama, the Rand Nature Center, which is just across from what used to be the Catholic High School. It is actually our headquarters here for Grand Bahama. We also have a staff complement at Lucayan National Park. And then we also manage Peterson Key. But you can visit us at Rand Nature Center. It is a community space. We do host and provide facilities for quite a number of events and special occasions. But come and visit us. You can also give us a call. We are open 5 days out of the week. And we are absolutely open to making sure that we are providing the Grand Bahama community with a space to learn about nature and to get more involved.
Fantastic. Well, we want to thank both of you so much for joining us today and for sharing so much with us. I know everyone here is learning just as much as I am. I don't know about diving anywhere else. I might check out that creek as long as I don't have to do that. But we'll see how things go. Of course, we want to invite you to be able to support the BNT. Of course, their offices, as Mrs. Anderson Rule mentioned, would be down at the Rand Nature Center.
Yes.
Make sure that you do that. And of course, Gawain, if I may say that, Gawain said that you can reach out to him if you need some time.
Yes.
And if you want to do something and see what can happen. But of course, we want you to support our local banks, our banks here that are here to assist you and provide opportunities for you. Listen, the show is not over. We are still here
Not yet.
at the Economic Development Summit. So much is still going on in the downstairs area, Delphine's room at Pelican Bay. And so we want to bring some more folks on just to tell you a little bit about what's happening and opportunities that you might have. So we'll be right back right after this.
We are the mother of glass for the Bahamas. GB Glass has been in existence for over 50 years. I want to introduce you to some of our new products from Corallo Doors. We have the store front door, we have the front door, and we have the garage door. And GB Glass will be the distributor for the Caribbean, which includes Nassau and all of the other Caribbean islands. We are located on Logwood Road, across the road from the MSC building next to the $2 store. And you can find us here from Monday to Friday. Our phone number here is 242-727-4617 or 242-352-4618 or gbglass at 242@gmail.com or on Facebook.
Welcome to Freeport, the reawakened, the reimagined, the rebirth, the Renaissance capital of the Bahamas. Over $1.5 billion in investments. Marinas, cruise ports, downtown revitalization, residential developments. We're putting the city on the map. Want to know more? Just log on. Your future is only a click away.
Hi Hi, everyone, and we are back on Focus Forward having a fantastic day at the Grand Bahama Economic Development Summit, sponsored by the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. And we've had some fantastic guests on the show today sharing such wonderful information to be able to help you, especially our small and medium-sized enterprises here on the island of Grand Bahama, but anybody who may be an entrepreneur or anybody that just lives here and needs to know exactly what's happening. And of course, you can always watch us on Focus Forward to know what's happening. That's why we're here at the summit, right?
Of course.
At Pelican Bay. And we are bringing it to you to bring the TA. Oh, goodness.
I think it's important to point out that we had Gowan Bow here.
Yes.
And you know what he said? He's available to everyone.
He is. Well, I make sure I log that number and email address.
His number is public.
Because we are going to be having some conversations. But of course, again, if you need to get any information from anyone that's on the show and anybody that's a part of the seminar today that may not be joining us, call the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, speak with their office so that you can get the information that you need so that you can support yourself in whatever it is that you're trying to do. Lots of opportunity in the room, in the building here at Pelican Bay.
In Grand Bahama.
Yes, in Grand Bahama.
Grand Bahama.
Yes. And so we want to get on to our final segment, but listen, this is going to be a hot one because, again, we have some wonderful people around our roundtable. And, of course, for the very first time, we want to welcome to our roundtable Mr. Rodney Bain, the Manager of Communications, Business Intelligence, and Consumer Awareness at the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas. Mr. Bain, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for your energy. It's very infectious.
Oh, thank you. This is a lot of good energy around the
You also have an office in Grand Bahama as well, too.
In Grand Bahama?
You have also in Grand Bahama, too.
Oh, okay.
In
You didn't
Grand
have to catch a
Bahama.
flight like some. You were here.
I mean, I'm not from here.
Okay. But you came.
I got to work from here. Yeah.
we want you to move here. We want you to move here. And of course, not for the first time, but every time this lady comes, she's always sharing some wonderful things with us. And of course, today we are delighted to have her back, Miss Donna Lang Jones, who's the Director of Fundraising at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, a part of the committee to have this summit here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Donna, we're so
Always
many
a
hats.
pleasure. Yes,
Wear so many hats.
Keys Bahamas, Realty.
Every time she's here,
is it
which hat
Rotary
you
as
want?
well? Yes, there's always a hat. There's always a hat. But we appreciate it because you guys always bring lots of good information. So let's jump into the conversation, Mr. Bain. Well, you know what? Before I get into I don't need context per se. I want to know what you're going to be talking about today. Because when we hear insurance, sometimes people say, oh my goodness. And then some people are like, I'm open, I'm willing. Let me hear what you have to say and to offer. So tell us a little bit about what your presentation is going to be like today.
Sure. So mainly we want people to know what insurance is. We found out that two issues. People have insurance, they don't understand it or they don't trust it. Here at the Insurance Commission, our job is to safeguard our policyholders and the industry. So you want to make sure be that person to teach people, hey, insurance is a safe tool to use. It's a financial tool. And something that you need, especially for small businesses. Everybody's a consumer for insurance, including us. So we're just a little bit biased of the insurance at the Insurance Commission. So we want to see the industry thrive. Another part we want to talk about was innovation. We talk about innovation all day, that words being floating around everywhere. We want the market to grow and develop. But people have to understand that insurance could be risk averse, and persons are maybe scared to try to grow the industry. We at the Commission want to let persons know, come talk to us. We have something called Innovation Hub. I'm going to talk about later today that you will come if you're not an insurance person, you're a business-minded person, but you have a solution for insurance. You can come and talk to us. We can flesh it out with either technology or something different. We just big on that.
Okay, Innovation Hub.
Innovation Hub. He's talking at the Economic Summit in Grand Bahama.
Yes.
I just want to make sure you know it's clear. It is. But he also said he wants to make sure the policyholders are protected, but he also wants to make sure that the companies in the insurance industry are holding up their end of the bargain.
Correct, and that's our point. Like I told persons plainly, we are a part of the policyholders as well. So we just have just a little bit biased to make sure it's fine. But the insurance industry is a homegrown domestic product. And you may hear about the financial services sector. Insurance is part of the financial services sector. By 23 is the numbers we use. About 14% of GDP was the financial services sector. Out of 40%, 7% represented insurance. That means the insurance industry contributes directly to the country's growth and development.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money that
I don't
you
think
spend.
realize.
But we spend, so my thing is we spend a lot of money, why not make sure we use the thing we spend on? But a lot of persons, when they get their policies, they either hide underneath the bed or they do it in their briefcase. They don't talk about it. Mama don't want you to know she got a life insurance policy because you can kill her.
Right.
But the challenges we have with consumer awareness is that you don't know how the policy works. We need you to read a contract. We need you to read a policy where we have a complaints unit where I let the commission, Nassau and Freeport, for first to come and take, if the product's not working, let us know. But 9 times out of 10, it's right in the contract.
We just didn't read it.
Just didn't read the contract.
Okay, so I'm going to jump right in there. You talked about the 7%. You talked about that, that money.
Yes.
But what role does the Insurance Commission play in supporting economic stability,
Correct.
particularly in times of crisis and natural disaster?
The first thing is you have to educate. Education is the core. That's the teaching me talking. We have to understand what we have access. A lot of persons do not realize the tool insurance of. I understand it's expensive. I understand it's necessary evil. However, that's going to safeguard your possessions and your children's possessions down the line in the future. So these products need to be bought when things are good. So when things are bad, you have your support. But that's a hard conversation now because we get it's expensive. So we want to have the conversation on behalf of the policyholders. What can we do to make sure the rates are fair? One thing we do at the commission too is we talk on behalf of the industry. When we travel around the world, we want to know why the rates are high as well too. One of the reasons why the rates are high is because reinsurance. We see a lot of our risks outside the country. One thing a lot of persons may not be aware of is that most of our risks are seated in Europe. And years back, we were on the blacklist of the grey list. I don't know if you remember. That impacted our reinsurance because if you're on the grey list, the European Union then said, if you do business with a country on the grey list, then you're going to be fined. They then pass that on to the reinsurers pass it on to us. So when you see a company ask you for your driver's license or your passport, they ain't being pedantic. They need those documentation to make sure they're AML, CFT, and CBRT compliant because those things contribute to your rates as well too.
Now, having been around the world, just like you mentioned, while you guys are traveling and what you see happening here on Grand Bahama, what are some of the trends that you're seeing with consumer awareness and risk management, and not just for businesses, but also for households?
That's a great question. Low penetration rates is the main thing we see. People not buying insurance. Whether they can't afford it, they don't understand it. I've spoken to persons in India where it was cheap, the penetration rate was low. Persons in South Africa where they had a young populations with the funds, penetration rate was low because the trust is in there. We have to admit that we have been by insurance companies that we thought that we paid this particular thing for the particular coverage and then it did not service how we wanted to service. So one thing we tell a person going back to the policy, understanding the policy. The reason why we tell persons that your house is worth $100,000 because it's cheaper to buy the $50,000 policy now, you buy the $50,000 policy. Now when around they come, you want now them pay $100,000. That's not how it works. So you have to understand that also too, your house might be worth $100,000, but you put on a porch in the back. You put an extra room for your grandson. Now you know your house is worth more, but you want to tell the insurance company because you want to pay more. Then when around they come, you want the insurance company to pay for that. All those things are factors that we have to understand. And we know Grand Bahama had an issue with Dorian and the rest of the insurance, but certain conversations need to be had. The uninsurable areas is a conversation that have to be had. That's around the world too. Certain areas should not be built in. It shouldn't be lived in because insurance can't cover it. We are now in conversations though with the government. What can still be done for those persons who already live there? How can we help everybody? You might not get the full roof back, but you might get a shingle or two. And that's the kind of conversation we can have.
And I know that they're calling for you to come to do your presentation. So any final words before you leave us today?
Know your policy, understand that insurance is necessary, and any questions or concerns, please contact the Insurance Commission.
Contact the Insurance Commission and go see them on West Mall Drive. You'll have people lining up at the door. Thank you so much, Mr. Bain. We truly appreciate having you. Now, if we can come over to Ms. Donna Lang-Jones, of course, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is having this Economic Development Summit today. It's just so full of information. All of the presentations we've had here, even around our roundtable, have been so great. And so we're still learning a lot, Alex, right? Yes. We're still learning a lot and trying to share as much as we can. What are some of the things that you would like to share with our viewers about the Chamber? Some people know that, okay, so I have to have a business to be a part of the Chamber, but tell us a little bit about how the Chamber actually benefits these businesses.
So basically, when you become a member of the Chamber, the Chamber is actually advocating for you and for your business. And with you having your smaller business, you're able to partner with other members. You have the executives, you have the board, you have the board members who are able to assist you with your businesses, give you experience, give you exposure, and then like events like today, you have Ms. Stacy from the IDB who's talking with us today about available funding that's out there. You have persons who can assist you with social media, with marketing. You have the license, you have the port, we have Nicole Colbrook from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. She's in charge of the licensing. We have a lot of people who've had issues with licensing, and basically you're able to get all of the information that you need right there at the chamber. So the chamber is really a good place for you to start with your business.
I think what this particular summit is showcasing is that the chamber is demythifying, if I want to say that people think that's only for big business.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're putting this economic summit together. We're housing it right here in Grand Bahama. You don't have to travel to Nassau for the major chamber events, but come here and you're putting everybody in the room.
Exactly.
So if we have the questions, you're providing the persons with the answers right there, so that you can prove your point, which is we are here for you. We are here for you. Just come and access it. I think you've done a phenomenal job this past year, what the chamber has done. And, I want to find out from you, as this year has gone by, what have you seen in the small business community as, I guess, a show of attending these events that the chamber has? What have you seen from the small business community benefiting from it?
So definitely what I've seen is we've had so many small businesses that have become members in this last year. And then we've been able to partner a lot more with the chamber in Nassau. And then we've had small businesses who've been able to go overseas on conferences, all funds, all expense paid trips, and then just the opportunities that's become available for the small business owners. And I'm just so excited to see that so many people are now, just a one-man shop is coming on board, and they're becoming members, and they're seeing the need for it, and they're seeing the assistance that's available for us. And also, like, you have the SBDC, that's a part that they've been participating with us, and then just they've been providing them with a lot of opportunities for the new members.
All right. So you hear that, Grand Bahama. There's so many opportunities right here, the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Summit. Of course, we are so excited and delighted and grateful having had you guys. Thank you so much, Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Lang Jones, Mr. Felix Bowe, President Dylan Knowles. We're just so grateful for the opportunity to be here to share this information with everyone. And of course, make sure that you are watching Focus Forward each and every week so you can know exactly what's going on. This is where you come. This is your go-to platform, right? And of course, if you have questions, make sure that you are sending your questions, even if you drop them on social media, drop them on Facebook, drop them on YouTube. We have a Valentine's gift that we're going to be giving away. And we're telling persons to watch our YouTube page, or just go to the page, drop your name, drop your email. But if you have a question, drop it there too. Maybe we need to call Ms. Lang Jones to come and answer from the chamber, right? So that we can share some of this information with everybody. But we are here for you, and we are ready. We are ready to be able to support the small and medium-sized businesses through the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. And of course, all of their partners. I know that Mr. Bowe had mentioned some of the businesses that you guys would have worked with to make this happen, in addition to the chamber team. So, we were so grateful to be here today. And thank you so much, Ms. Lang Jones, for joining us. And special shout out to Keys Bahamas Realty. Of course, we know that your business is doing well, and you guys are also supporting everyone that's moving into this economy and that sort of thing. So great. And those that are moving around too.
Yes, for sure.
So we are so delighted. We also want to thank our sponsors. Very special thank you, Invest Grand Bahama, OMG Couture, Visible Changes Salon, Untangled Salon, Kishana K Beauty, and everybody that helps us to be here with you each and every week. We are grateful. Alex, great show today.
It was an informative show.
Yes.
And it's only because I love my people on Focus Forward to be watching us that I'm here. Other than that, I would have been in the room. I would have stayed in the room.
I believe Alex is going in the room. I believe she is going in the room right after this. Ms. Lang Jones is going to take her down. She is going to be in the room to get even more information. It doesn't end here.
No,
it goes
not.
into the afternoon as well.
Right.
So much more information being shared. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining us, allowing us to be in your offices where you should be working right now, your businesses and your homes. Grand Bahama's Best Talk Show is always here for you. And until next time, I'm Glendia Sweeting.
And I'm Alex Thompson.
Informing you on the positive things that happen only when you focus forward. You've been been listening to Focus Forward, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama. Like us on Facebook at Invest Grand Bahama Small Business Bureau to stay updated.
And drop a business card at the Grand Bahama Port Authority receptionist desk to have your business featured